Hello and good evening to all. Welcome to my Positivity Pass It On channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Priscilla Subramania, and I'm really excited to welcome two special guests this evening as we are celebrating National Black Business Month and also Women's Equality Day. So I'm very excited to introduce two very special guests this evening on my Word of Mouth Wednesday conversation. I am inviting all of you to drop comments as we are having our conversation. And I do see someone has just joined. So hello, Michaela from Texas. I'm really happy to have you joining us this evening. But please feel free to drop some comments as we are having our conversation. If you have questions that you want to ask us, please feel free to drop it in the comments. That's the fun part about doing live broadcasts. So without further ado, I'm very excited to welcome my special guest this evening, the sister owners of Bliss Books and Wine, Lene Robinson and Lanisha Frazier.
Hello.
Hello. We're so happy to be on with you.
I'm so happy that both of you could share some of your evening with us. And we're really excited to hear more about Bliss Books and Wine. As I mentioned earlier, we are celebrating National Black Business Month. And later in our conversation, I'll be sharing some data from a report from the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, just kind of talking about impact and power of Black-owned and women-owned businesses. So I'll be sharing that later on in our conversation. So I thought I like to save the numbers for in the middle, so I break it up a little bit. So feel free, whoever wants to start first. If you want to do like maybe a little intro, maybe about yourself, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the small business, Bliss Books and Wine. So do you want to go ahead and start, Lene?
I'm going to turn it over to Lanisha. Bliss Books and Wine was her baby.
All right, Here we go.
So Bliss Books and Wine was created basically out of pure frustration and necessity. I am a book nerd, a late bloomer versus my sister, but I'm a book nerd. And so I was over lunch reading a book and I couldn't finish the book. And so I really wanted to finish this chapter that I was on, but I couldn't. And so I knew that once I got home, I'm a mother too, I'm a wife, so all of those second job duties are going to come into play. So I really wanted to figure out a place where we can go to read a book, have a glass of wine, and relax and decompress. So I started trying to figure out where can we go? Where can I go to find this place? And I couldn't find any place. So like men, they can go to like cigar lounges. They can go to like sports bars. They can go to all these different places, but there were no places for women to go to just kind of decompress and relax. And, you can go to a library, but they kind of frown upon you drinking in the library, kind of frown upon. So, so I started trying to figure out how I can create my own bliss. And so I kind of ran this by my sister, and she was just like, this is a good idea. I think we need to run with it. And that's how Bliss Books and Wine was created. So.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. So, Lene?
I have nothing to add on to that. Other than I named it.
You did.
You pitched the idea to me. We were, trying to think of catchy titles, and I was like, well, that place just sounds blissful. It sounds like someplace I want to go. And I was like, how about Bliss? So,
yep. You did name it. That is correct.
That's so awesome. That's very cool. It's so funny how a lot of times when we're thinking about a small business, how much something will come out of necessity. And I know as we're talking about today, talk about Women's Equality Day. And so I think I want to bring this up again and throughout our conversation because You brought up a really good point, Lene, or Lanisha, sorry. You're a mom and you're a wife, and all those many hats that you just wear just in a day to day. And I think that that's very important to stress that, because we are women of many purposes. And so, as wives, as mothers, and then as small business owners. So we're always trying to give 100% of ourselves. And I think that's really important to stress that. So I think that may come up a little bit more as we chat, but I am a wife myself, and I also am a mother and a small business owner, and also very involved in my community. And so it's wanting to be living a purposeful life and with intention and giving back. And so I think that's just really important, because especially 2020 has presented itself in such a way that it's so important to take time for yourself. And so that's actually going to lead me to my next question, which is, why is it important to read, sip, and relax?
Well, I was the original book nerd, so I would always have books and try to force Lanisha to read, and she hated it, and she would kick and scream, and I would force it on her anyway. And ultimately, she came to the dark side. But anyway, books are my escape from real life, because, like you said, the hustle and bustle, being the wife, the mother, the PTA participant, soccer mom, just, football mom, running around doing everything. I use books as my way to back out of real life and go somewhere new, a new life, new fantasy, new destination. And it helps me relax. And the same thing with wine is, once you really, really get into wine, the different grapes will take you on a journey as well. You can taste the different regions. I'm not there yet, where I'm not a somm where I can call out all the different regions and just do it on the drop of a dime. But to me, they go hand in hand with telling the story and letting you escape to someplace different. And both of those are relaxing for me. So naturally, I love putting the two together. When she pitched it, I was like, yes, it's a place where we can physically go and then go on the journey while you're there. So that's why it's important for me.
That's really, really fun. And that you kind of, I saw you guys touch on this a little bit. So let's dive a little bit deeper. So as sister owners, it's got to be interesting to work together. So can you tell us a little bit more about how that experience is like?
I'll take the first lead on that one, then she can come in from the backhand. I think it's natural to be able to work with her. Who better to work with than somebody who already knows your strengths and weaknesses, right? She knows my strong suits. That's why she made me start talking first. So she knows my strong points. She knows my weaknesses, and vice versa. So we can play off of each other fairly well. I mean, and so you already have that great sister connection anyway. So why not turn it into a partnership? Neither one of us are trying to outshine the other. So I don't foresee any competition or anything like that. We both want to leave a legacy for our family. And since we are family, why not leave one together? So I think it's fairly easy to work with my sister. So, I mean, she's been bossing me around my whole life. So why not boss me around in business? So.
I try not to let, because I'm the oldest, my older sibling dominate and make her do things that she doesn't want to do, which is the natural effect of things. But it makes me, in the partnership, remember that we are 50-50, and I'm not the big sister telling her what to do all the time. Maybe I want to ask her what she wants to do, and if she's in agreement with my decisions. That's the struggle for me, is to not be the sister that's trying to take on everything, and she fusses at me for that. And letting her, I mean, it's her baby, so I don't want to just come in and, thou shalt do. And it was her idea. So, and when she acts up, I can just tell mom. So,
Right. So.
I love that. I love it. At the end of the day, you're like, hey, I'm telling mom.
Do you know what your daughter did?
Perfect. It's absolutely wonderful. So then my next question then to both of you. So how do you feel that 2020 has created unique opportunities to sustain strong communities through virtual reading clubs?
2020 has been interesting for us with everything that has been going on with the pandemic and everything. We had to pivot quite a bit. Our game plan is to open up a brick and mortar, right, and to open up this wine lounge and an independent bookstore. And then here we come with this pandemic, and we're just kind of like, we can't open right now. So we had to pivot and we had to turn everything online. And in swoops big sister, who's a who's a tech, so she's on it. She's on all this online stuff and virtual realities and all this stuff. But I think how it built our community, it made our community stronger, was because everybody was shut in and they were just searching for an outlet, right? And so they couldn't go out, they couldn't do too much anything. Well, dive into your book and let's talk about it. It's easy to jump online and let's talk about it. Versus everybody trying to do schedules and go out and everything like that. The pandemic actually caused people to kind of slow down a little bit and take everything in and figure out what's important to them. And so that's how our community kind of grew stronger, is because we all had to slow down, do some self-reflection and prioritize and come together with like-minded people. So.
And it allowed us to grow our community, because in Kansas City, you just have that one market, some of the outlying areas. But now we have people dialing in from Virginia, Oklahoma, Texas, Maryland. There's like people all over. And that's something we wouldn't be able to do if we were just in one physical location. So it has definitely broadened our base. Even with the online book sales, I have orders coming in literally from all over the country. I don't think there's a state that we haven't touched. So just having everything available online has put us out there for a lot of people that normally would not know anything about Bliss Books and Wine in Kansas City.
Right. Agree.
Right. See, that's probably the impact that when you think about technology and what technology can do for communities when it's used correctly. And so essentially, in my situation too, I also had to pivot as well, because I used to go to local businesses, kind of like yourselves, and, cover national days, which is like, example, for today, we are celebrating National Black Business Month and Women's Equality Day. So I had to find ways to pivot. And this is why I created this channel on YouTube, because I didn't want to miss out on making connections. And I know that we have to keep going and we have to keep supporting each other. And it's always during difficult times, you really have to find the ways to find gratitude, no matter how small it is. And so I really appreciate what you're doing in terms of, bringing communities together. It really makes my heart, I feel full knowing that it's not just Kansas City that you are building these communities in. So that is huge. And I just want to say how much I appreciate what you're doing with your small business. That's huge. So I just want to, applaud you. And I hope that people can drop some comments in as well as we continue to have our conversation. But that to me is huge. That means a lot. And so I know that we do have someone joining from National Day headquarters. So do want to give a shout out to Michelle for joining us. Really appreciate it. So actually, as a Celebrate Everyday ambassador, I've had the opportunity to connect with small businesses around Kansas City and basically showcase what Kansas City is all about. And so I really appreciate she's very supportive every time I have a broadcast and it ties into like a national day or if I'm celebrating a national month. So I'm so grateful for that. So that's really wonderful. Can you tell us then a little bit about, I think you do have a National Day celebration coming up later this week, I believe. Independent Booksellers Day?
Yeah.
Independent Bookstore Day. Yeah, that is on Saturday, I believe. All my days are running together with the pandemic. Yeah, Saturday. So it's all independent bookstores all across the country. There's like a day-long celebration of virtual events or even in-person social distancing at different bookstores all across the country. So it should be fun. We had to pivot.
Right. If there's one word that 2020 has certainly put in front of us, I think it's the P word, which is pivot. So
Yeah, agree.
It's making us all be more creative, which is good. We're not
definitely.
following the norm. So.
Well, I thought that I would just take a moment as we are talking about National Black Business Month and also Women's Equality Day. I just wanted to bring up an infographic from the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. They've been a great partner in the past with organizations that I have served on. And so I want to pull up this quick infographic real quick. So I'm going to share this. Let me know if you can see that.
There we go.
There we go. So essentially, this infographic is highlighting Black women business owners. And so just wanted to share some numbers about this audience, just because I think it's just really important to understand the profile of, a Black-owned businesswoman and kind of, what she, how many years she's been in business and things about her education and how much time she spends on her small business. So in this infographic, it starts out that 49% are between the ages of 35 to 54, and 37% have a bachelor's degree or higher, and 64% work less than 39 hours a week on their business, and 77% are first-time business owners, and 50% use personal or family savings to start their business, and 38% have a firm that is 3 years old or less. So what I'll do is I will include this full report in the video description for anybody who wants to watch the replay. So you can read the full report from the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. But these numbers are just really important to keep track of, because actually this report also provides some recommendations on how we can continue to invest in, Black-owned and women-owned small businesses, because there's a lot to be said about this demographic. And the rate at which Black-owned and women-owned businesses are growing is exceeding women-owned businesses and actually businesses all together. So that's actually something that I just wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about. So I will drop the full report in the video description in case anybody's interested in checking out those data points. So, all right. So now then my last question is, so how can our audience stay connected with Bliss Books and Wine through your website and through your social media channels? And then maybe you could tell us about a couple of upcoming virtual book clubs, maybe in the fall?
Yeah. So our website is blissbooksandwine.com. That has all of our information on there, has our online store with our books, merchandise, our author events, everything is on there. Our Facebook is Bliss Books Wine, and then our Instagram is Bliss_Books_Wine_. underscore KC. And I have no clue what my Twitter is.
We haven't quite figured out Twitter yet.
I'm not a millennial.
So we'll have to get that going.
That's all right. I mean, every platform, the audience is slightly different. So, but it's fun. It's a fun place to be, and it's one of my favorite platforms to be on. So, let me know if I can help you with anything in that regard. So,
we'll get there.
It's there.
Our upcoming virtual book club is September 2nd. And we will be discussing the Vanishing Half book. And with that, we are partnered with Weston Wine Company in Weston, Missouri. And so the winery there has paired 3 wines with the book that she felt that would go with the book. And so you can order them as a set. And so when we do the virtual book club, she'll come on. Or she talked about possibly coming on and kind of giving a little blurb about the wines while we're tasting and sampling them with it. So this is going to be exciting, kind of fun, little twist that we haven't had a chance to add back in the wine aspect just yet. So I'm excited. And then we have another one coming up. Nicole, when is that?
See, she's playing on the sister word for me. She never talked about my first name. On September 9th, which is the following Wednesday, we're doing an author event with Cole Brown. And he is author of a book called Gray Boy. Really excited to have him on to discuss his book. That should be a lot of fun. And then October 7th will be the next book club discussion. And then that Saturday, the 10th, we're going to do a virtual painting sip. So
okay. Okay, I may hop on there because painting is not my comfort zone. But actually, my friend Michaela, who is on the live, actually took me to a paint night and kind of got me out of my comfort zone. So I actually want to explore it a little bit more. So thanks, Michaela.
We're going to use a local artist to do our paint sets and kits, and so then we'll be able to distribute those to the people who want to participate. A big point of Bliss is we do want to bring in local artists and authors and kind of spotlight them and make sure that people know who they are. So this is another way so we can give back and just show everybody like, hey, this is a local artist and she has a studio here in Kansas City and this is her paint set and this is her paint kit. We're having a great time. Stop by her studio and and visit her and things like that. So we just really like spotlighting our local authors and artists. So I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. That sounds really good. Well, I'm just so excited for everything that you have accomplished so far. And I'm just so grateful that we were able to connect. So, we connected through a mutual friend and also was recommended by Reach Out and Read Kansas City. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. That was a nonprofit that I teamed up with middle of the summer to do another National Day celebration. So they had nothing but good things to say about both of you. So there you go.
And we're also, just to pub them a little bit, they have an event on September 16th, which is Books on Tap. And that is one of their annual fundraisers that we're a sponsor for. So we're really excited. Even though at Bliss Books and Wine, we don't sell children's books, this is our way of giving back for childhood literacy and starting those young readers that will eventually turn into, hopefully not kicking and screaming like my sister, adult readers.
I came around.
You did.
That's awesome. Yeah, actually, so Reach Out and Read, has affiliates around the country, and it's great because they're helping to promote literacy and also just school readiness as well. So really happy that you guys are going to be involved in that capacity. So I'm really excited for that. So I just want to thank both of you so much for being able to share your story about Bliss Books and Wine and how you are making a difference in the community And just also wanted to thank you for coming on so that we could celebrate National Black Business Month. And then also just give a shout out for Women's Equality Day. It starts, as small business owners, we are making a difference in what we do. And so I'm just very grateful for what you're doing. And you found out of fresh a need to do something. And so that's so wonderful and meaningful. So I'm really grateful for that. So I want to thank Lene Robinson and Lanisha Frazier for coming on this evening, sister owners of Bliss Books and Wine. And if you are a small business, or if you have a platform that you want to amplify, or if you're a nonprofit organization and would like to get some visibility, this is kind of my way of giving back as well. And so I host these broadcasts twice a month. And if you're interested in connecting with me, please reach out to me on Instagram, on my community page, Positivity Vibe Tribe. And so would love to speak with you, and filling my calendar up for the fall, and hoping to keep this going as long as possible, and just keep the gratitude and keep the optimism going, because we are going to get through this. It's going to maybe be slow, but all we can do is take it one day at a time. And it always takes a village to get through things. But as long as we have others to keep us accountable, we can get through this.
We will.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us on here. It was such an honor. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so if you know anybody that is not able to participate in the live, the replay will be available shortly. And if you want to go ahead and share this with your friends, and would love to kind of keep getting the word out about the Positivity Pass It On channel. So thank you again so much, and hope you have a great night. And thank you to all who are joining us this evening from Texas, from North Dakota, and also from Kansas City. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being on this evening with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening, everybody. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.